Could F-Zero be making its grand return on a future Nintendo console? For those who don't know, Nintendo has recently released a F-Zero 99 game, which is a Battle Royale version of the classic arcade-style racer from the Super Nintendo. And they also announced that 2 Game Boy Advance games from the F-Zero franchise are now coming to Nintendo Switch Online, plus expansion pack. So, could this be the return of F-Zero? Let's discuss. So, F-Zero, for those who don't know, was Nintendo's prime racing franchise before Mario Kart kind of stole all its thunder. Now, F-Zero, you play as Captain Falcon, and you obviously... It's a high-speed race, basically, set in the future, and it's always been quite a fun little series, always been quite a fun little franchise. However, before F-Zero 99, the last game was actually in 2004. That was 20 years ago. So, could we be in the process of seeing F-Zero return to our screens and gamers getting excited to play as Captain Falcon again? I think it's very possible we're going to be seeing more F-Zero stuff, because it just makes sense. F-Zero 99 has been widely successful. Now, I know people will make the argument that the game is free if you have Switch Online, and, you know, people only want to play it because it's a Battle Royale, and the game's not really that great, and all this sort of stuff. Like, there'll be a bunch of arguments people make. Oh, I don't really like F-Zero, but I like the OG games, or F-Zero 99, it's not for me because it's Battle Royale, or, like, some other excuses, and that's okay. If you don't like the game, you don't like the game. But that doesn't take away from what it's done. It's become widely popular, and it's given possibly to Nintendo a reason to reinvest in the franchise and try to explore to bring it back, as well as explore other franchises to bring back. Now, Nintendo has basically a bottomless vault of IP, similar to that of the Walt Disney Company. The problem is with Nintendo, they don't really do as much of any of it, because obviously they have their mainstays. Their mainstay franchises are like the ones we see released on every single console, every generation, without fail. They have multiple releases in that franchise. Now, F-Zero is not one of them, but could they return? Could it return? I do think so, because also the Switch Online editions are kind of weird, because you have F-Zero GP Legend, which is obviously the actual last F-Zero game that was released in the West, from what I understand. It was the last Game Boy Advance game from F-Zero as well. But then also F-Zero Climax, which was a Japanese exclusive Game Boy Advance game that's only just making its way to the West with this update. Now, these two are obviously huge gets, really, because Nintendo Switch Online doesn't really have the best lineup anyway. But these games, especially F-Zero Climax, which is obviously, like I said, was Japanese exclusive until recently, I feel like this is saying something, right? I feel like Nintendo's doing this as a way to tell fans, hey, we want to hear your opinion. Will you like to see a new F-Zero game? And obviously, I do think that F-Zero could be a huge idea to bring back, because we all know Mario Kart sells really well. Maybe F-Zero can sell really well, and this be like their equivalent to other big racing franchises, because obviously not every major company will support Nintendo's hardware. So this could be kind of Nintendo's answer to that, you know? That's at least my process, and that's my thought process, and I hope this is the case, because I do feel like F-Zero would be quite an interesting franchise to bring back, and bringing it back with modern hardware, modern graphics. I'm sold. I'm already sold on that idea. So yeah, why not? Why not bring it back and just see how fans react to it, you know? Because F-Zero 99 has done really well, and these 2 Game Boy Advance games that are being added to Switch Online, that kind of says something that they want to sort of revive the franchise. But that could all be speculation. We don't actually know. None of us actually work at Nintendo. None of us actually understand what Nintendo's doing. So if Nintendo ends up reviving F-Zero, you were there first. They might just remaster one of the older games. They might remaster one of the GameCube games or something like that. You never know, because they've been remastering quite a lot of old games now. But yeah, that's just my take, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, like, all that sort of stuff. I've been EC, and I'm signing out. Peace.